Ice Cube was hanging out with Tucker Carlson recently. Created a lot of stir. I want to play a couple of seconds of this and then get your take on this, and I'd love to talk to you about it. Let's just hear a little bit from it. That's
You could do an interview with anyone. You're doing an interview with me. Obviously, you're going to take abuse for doing that. Like, why would you do that?
Because I think it's silly not to talk to people. I think whether we agree or not,
right,
that has nothing to do with it. You know, it's like, this is what it's all about. Let's talk about it. Let's debate. And you know, I've been shut out.
That sounds like right-wing extremism and whataboutism.
But I've been shut out. You know, some platforms will not have me on.
Why?
They don't like that I'm, you know, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang.
Wow. I think he just described you, Brandon.
That's the first time I've seen that. I saw his name trending yesterday, but I didn't know why it was trending. I've just been tied up with so many meetings. But yeah. So when did that happen? Did last couple
days? This was put up yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And that's the interview. But then there was also on him hanging out in the hood with Ice Cube.
Oh, okay. So this was for Tucker Carlson's web show?
Yeah, the Twitter show that he has. So this has 4 million views as of 18 hours ago. And episode 10 called Stay in Your Lane, our drive through South Central LA with Ice Cube. Then he says, sit down, studio is the next episode. So these 2 episodes are out now. So this was the initial episode 10 was 2 days ago with over 10 million views.
Well, I think, you know, I mean, I'm not a fan of Tucker Carlson, but I don't think what Ice Cube said is wrong. And I mean, why shouldn't you talk to people? I mean, I talk to people. I don't care what people's political views are. I'll talk with anybody. As long, I mean, I don't want to talk with somebody whose entire goal is to just sit there and argue necessarily. I mean, I don't mind arguing. I like debating, but I guess what I'm saying is people who have intentions that are legit, you know, I will talk to anyone. So I think that Ice Cube probably represents a strand that is a lot bigger than most people realize in the streets, which is a lot of these guys who are either former prisoners or former gang members or involved in the streets at some point in their lives. You know, a lot of these guys are not the far left activists that the left would like to think they are. And so, I mean, he sounds like everybody that I know in the streets who I've known over the years. I mean, most of the homeboys that I know, they're not, I mean, they're pro Chicano and they might have some left views on things, but they're not Democrats per se, right? Like they're not anti-speech. They aren't necessarily, I don't think they have strong political views one way or another. I think they're like regular people. They just take into account their own experiences in life and they make decisions based on those experiences and based on the people around them, which means talking to people. So not everything is idealized. I mean, you know, in the gang world, they're pretty conservative. You make a mistake, you get your ass whooped. They're not sitting down and talking it over with you necessarily. And so
there's no talking.
Yeah. So I don't know why people are surprised when you see people come out of prison or come out of the gang world and they're more conservative. Because it's a conservative world. It isn't a mushy, let's kumbaya around a campfire world. You know what I mean? And so,
but they're black and brown. They have to vote Democrat. Don't you know this?
I mean, I voted Democrat the last election because my alternative was Trump. Now, I wasn't happy. I'm not happy with Biden. I don't like Biden. I won't vote for him again. but I did vote for him the last election because I wasn't going to vote for Trump. I couldn't stand Trump. But yeah, I do. I don't think Republicans deserve the vote of black and brown people until they get their act together. I agree with that, but I don't think that Democrats deserve black and brown vote going forward until they get their act together. I'm probably going to vote third party or for an independent candidate this next election.
Before we get to that, I bring this thing up with Ice Cube and what you've talked about because it seems that a black man or woman, brown, whatever, person of color, however you want to describe him, can't have these conversations with people that talk differently, that think differently from them, because you're giving them the platform. Heaven forbid you're giving the platform to people who have, hate ideas.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to cancel this person, Ice Cube, who's been prolific since he was a teenager in the 80s. This isn't like he's acting different all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Right? He's always been a very independent, prolific thinker, and it's in his raps. What are your thoughts?
Well, you can't push disagreeable ideas to the darkest corners of the internet and believe that they're just going to go away. And we've seen this happen with elements of real right-wing extremism, where they just bubble up, they find themselves in forums, they recruit, things like that. You should let people expose their ideas, and you should combat those ideas through speech.